Hey, I'm Super, lifelong solopreneur. Now living my life with only one passion to help solopreneurs to launch their digital products on fast track so that they can be profitable as fast as within 1 week, and they want to scale, they can join the membership. And as a bonus, I show them how they can sell their digital products all over the world using affiliates. Without further delay, let's get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to New Beginning Inspiration for You podcast. Here we get inspiring guests for you so that you can move needle in your business. And most of the guests we have till now, they are helping solopreneurs, small business owners, entrepreneurs. But today's guest, yeah, he's on a bigger scale. He is the one who is helping corporates. So hey, you are in for a treat. He is award-winning author. I can go into on and on about him, but without me getting into details about his profile, let's invite Richard James Rogers. He will tell you about his journey and how he can help you and he can add value to your life. So, without further delay, let me invite Richard James Rogers. Richard, we want to know your story, your success. How did you get started? Will you please tell
Yes, of
us?
course, Sue, and thank you for your very kind introduction. I come from a small town in North Wales in the UK called Flint, which is near Wrexham, you may have heard of, Liverpool and Chester. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you might have heard of Ryan
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds, for example, and Wrexham Football Club.
Mm-hmm.
So I come from that part of the
Mm-hmm.
world. Basically, I had quite a normal kind of childhood. I went to school. I studied as hard as I could. I went to university. I got a degree in molecular biology and a PGCE, and I became a teacher. I became a high school science and mathematics teacher. So I did that for a few years, and then I moved to Thailand to teach at international schools. Again, teaching chemistry, mathematics, physics, biology. And around about 2013, Sue, I realized that I seemed to be engaging my students and interacting with my students and I guess having an impact on my students that other teachers were not having, or at least not to as great an extent as I was having. And I wanted to deeply analyze myself and what I was doing in the classroom in order to have a record I could look back on and also to help other people as well. So I started writing a book all about the strategies I was using in the classroom. And that took me about 2 years to write and to get it ready for publishing. And when it was finally published in 2015, it became a tremendous success, almost an overnight success, selling hundreds of thousands of copies all around the world. So that book is called The Quick Guide to Classroom Management, 45 Secrets That All High School Teachers Need to Know. And that's available everywhere. And it's still to this day my most widely acclaimed book. And since then, Sue, I've set up the blog at richardjamesrogers.com, which kind of supplemented the book and provided practical teaching tips and strategies. And I wrote a few more books after that as well. So I've written 4 books now in total. And where this has led me on my journey now, a natural extension of me being an educator and an award-winning author is I very recently, about 3 or 4 years ago, identified a niche in the market over here in Thailand. And that, of course, is corporate training. So I go into companies now and I train their staff in things like public speaking, in executive coaching, in agile project management. I became qualified in that, and in train the trainer, which is natural for me because I'm an educator of around 20 years of experience now. So it's been a journey from being just a regular person, going to school like most people do, to going to university, to being a teacher, to being an author, to being an award-winning author, and then to being a business person. So it has been quite a story, I guess, thus far.
You see, from your talk, I already got 4 questions. So I'll ask one at a time. How did you go from UK to Thailand? Means, how did you decide? Because hey, we have been to both places, and I love both, but somehow uh, we are in the US, and if we plan to go to Thailand, we're still not. We though we love Thailand, but we are still not ready to move there. So, how did you make such a big jump?
Well, essentially what happened was I was looking for new jobs, new teaching jobs in the UK, because my contract at my school I was working at was coming to an end, and I was looking for something new. So I looked on the TES portal, which is like a teacher jobs website, and I decided one day to just look at the international section, and I saw this really beautiful school on there. I mean, the pictures just looked like something out of a Hollywood movie, you know. And I read all the reviews about the school, and it just sounded like a dream place to work. And I did my homework. I researched Bangkok as well, and how it's such a cosmopolitan city, very different to where I'm from. So I guess I got a taste of adventure, really. And I applied for the job. The school principal interviewed me in the UK, in Cardiff. And I got the job, and I flew over, and I've been in Bangkok, Thailand ever since.
That's interesting. And another thing, it is really unheard of transition from teacher to entrepreneur. And you explained it really well. And so somehow means I think for the first time I'm coming across with someone. I have seen various transitions, but this transition I'm coming across for the first time. So, how did it happen? Means you had to change the mentality, mindset shift. What made you happen
Well,
this?
it was a few small steps, Sue. I think writing that book was the first introduction to the business world for me, I think, because all of a sudden I had this product, my book, which I had to sell to people. So I needed to market the book. Whilst it was very well written, I think, I guess it must have been because people enjoyed it so much. That wasn't enough. I had to somehow advertise it, and I had to track my revenue, and I had to track my investment in all of the marketing as well. So that very quickly turned me into a kind of semi-business person, you know, because I was checking the numbers and working out the advertising. But I think the biggest leap came, Sue, when I joined the British Chamber of Commerce here in Thailand. Now, what that is basically a business networking organization, although a very high level business networking organization. It's an organization you have to pay to be a member of, but the investment is well worth it because you get to meet people who have very deep industry knowledge. So I decided to join this network of people, and someone at that network gave me the idea to become a corporate trainer and to start this corporate training business. So I think this is a testament to the phrase that it's not what you know, but who you know. that matters. And it took me many, many, many years of my life to finally realize that your reputation is very, very important. How you treat people is very, very important. And valuing the connections you make is very, very important. It's very difficult to make it just on your own. You do need other people around you to inspire you and to help you, and who you can trust as well.
Oh, this is so important. This is what I always say in my community. Only one solopreneur understands other solopreneur, neither their friends nor family. And that is why it is so important you to associate with other solopreneurs so that you know what challenges they are going through and how they overcome, and then you get inspiration from them. It is so important. And if you want to catch cold, associate with people who already have cold. We learned that in COVID. Yeah, if you want to become a bank robber, associate with people who are robbing bank already. But hey, if you want to become a successful entrepreneur, yeah, even though it is really some investment is needed, but yeah, if you can find the elite group of entrepreneurs you can associate with, yeah, it will be really helpful for you. And your story, your success clearly shows that. That is so important. And yeah, means reputation, treating other people with kindness and with value, and it's great principles. You are giving nuggets after nuggets. I have a question for you. You know, I am in book process writing. I have been writing books. I have written 7 books right now. They are into, means basically process of publishing. And they are into beta readers, and some are getting edited and all, but I haven't published any book yet. But I have been talking to many people who have written books, and they have published, and 99.999% people told me that don't uh, look at book as something like award winning or something which can help you in your business or make money. Book is just expensive business card. That is
Mm,
what I heard. And till now I interviewed many people, only one person told me that she wrote a book and she makes money through book. And I think you are the first one who told me that your book became
mm.
overnight success. So tell me, when 99.999% people are saying that book is just a expensive business card, and here you come and tell me that you became overnight success. What's the difference between them and you?
Well, I think the difference is that if you're going to write a book, you need to have very deep subject knowledge about what you're writing about. And unfortunately, we live in a world today where anybody can just write and publish a book. And if the book you're writing is not based upon some solid foundational, deep rooted knowledge, then it's going to be a failure. If it's not written well, it's going to flop and it's going to be a failure. And you can't rely on ChatGPT and AI because
Yeah, that was my next
right.
question.
I mean,
Yeah.
my debut book, the one that won the Reader's Favorite Award, the Quick Guide to Classroom Management, that was published before ChatGPT. But unfortunately, what AI does is, whilst it's very good at saving us time at certain tasks, it's also very good at dehumanizing writing. And you can tell, it's actually quite easy to tell when something has been AI generated, especially if you're someone who reads a lot of books and you write a lot as well. It's very easy to tell when something isn't human. So you have to have good subject knowledge about what you're writing, particularly if it's a non-fiction book. If it's a fiction book, you have to write very well, you have to be very creative, and you have to enjoy the process as well. It has to be something you are genuinely passionate about. And I know that sounds like a cliche, because we hear that phrase a lot, especially on business programs like The Apprentice, for example. You know, you'll see the candidates say, I'm so passionate about this, and it's all fake. But actually, when you write a book, you do actually need to have a passion about what you're writing. And my advice would be, don't write a book with the aim of making it a multi-million reader bestseller. Write it for yourself. Write it as a guide for yourself, or as something you would want to read. When I wrote my first book and all of the subsequent books, I wrote them really as something I could keep to read over myself when I needed to remind myself of certain things. And because of that, because the pressure was off, I could be as creative and as blunt and as unhinged as I wanted to be. And I think because the language of my book was so raw and so uncut and so direct and so concise, that I think that's why people liked it, or at least one reason why, anyway.
That is really good. And yeah, so you answered my question, because my book writing journey started long back, like a couple of decades back. And I was just blogging because I love spirituality and I love entrepreneurship, and I just wanted to combine spirituality and entrepreneurship. And now I'm combining the blogs and converting into book. And when I got into this area, I started getting invitations for webinars that write your book in a day, write your book in half day, and this and that. And I said, oh my goodness, I have spent couple of decades in writing these books, and you are telling me that I can write within half day. And it was very clear it is AI generated. And the topics which I have chosen, there is no information AI can give, because I'm writing more on spirituality, and they can scrub the internet and they can provide, and it is so mechanical. And you are so right, means there is no heart and there is no passion. It is too mechanical. And yeah, so totally, yeah, I agree with you. And regarding the publishing, there are so many ways of publishing your book. Means some say self-publish, some say hybrid, some say go to the reputed. What do you suggest? What is your
Well,
experience?
if you want the high royalties, you go for self-publishing. If you want people to think you're amazing, go for an external publisher. The biggest criticism you're going to get when you publish a book, particularly if it's successful, which is what happened in my case, is people will suddenly start to hate you because of it. Yeah, they will. And you'll get a lot of jealousy. You'll get a lot of people that will criticize you. You'll get a lot of people who will not like the fact that you have written a book and you've been successful. And the first thing they will say is, it's self-published. It's not a real book. Oh, well done on writing your self-published book. And they'll come out with all these sarcastic comments. All the while you're earning 70, 80, 90% royalties and making big cash if it's successful. But of course, you know, criticism always comes from below. And it used to get to me at first when people criticize me. Now I just take it as part of being someone who's successful. You know, people will hate on you. Doing book publishing externally, so if you write a manuscript and you get it typeset and you get it proofread and you get it indexed if it's a non-fiction book, and then sending that to a publisher, that is definitely going to be a longer process. You're going to have to go through a lot of rejection before you get accepted. But once you are accepted, your book then will have, I guess, more credibility just because an external publisher's taken it on. But even then, it's not a guarantee that you'll make those big sales. And even if you do make big sales, the external publisher is going to be taking the majority of the royalties from those book sales. You know, they're going to be taking 60 to 70% of the profits, and you know, you might be lucky to get 10 to 25%. So it's really a number of factors have to be considered really when you're considering how to publish.
So, according to you, the self-publishing is a really
I
good
think
option,
so.
right?
If you're good, yes, if you're good at
Okay.
writing and you do it properly and you do it professionally and you've got
Mm-hmm.
very good subject knowledge, I would go for self-publishing because you'll get more royalties that way.
Yeah, and when you're talking about established publisher, I interviewed somebody and he said it is a myth that people think that when they go to established publisher, the established publisher will do their sales and marketing. He said it's never going to happen. Even if they publish, you have to do your sales and marketing for your book. So what you said, that makes totally sense. And also the category, they say you have to choose your category properly for the book so that it can be ranked high in that particular category. So what is your opinion about that?
Yes, before I wrote all of my books, I went on a website called Merchant Words. And what Merchant Words does is it allows you to see what people are searching for. So within my niche category, which was education, um, lots of people around about 2013 were searching for classroom management ideas. So that's why I came up with the idea of theming my book around classroom management, because I knew that that would hit what people were looking for. But also, crucially, Sue, I knew that I had a good foundational background in classroom management, and I knew that I could write about it well. There were other suggestions that came up, such as design thinking in teaching and all kinds of other things, which I did not have quite the expertise at that time. So I had to choose the thing that people were searching for the most that matched my expertise, and then I crafted my first book and my subsequent books around that.
You know, you mentioned about the jealousy and criticism. So I just wanted to tell you, you know, people throw stones at the tree which has fruits. Yeah, because, yeah, so if someone is criticizing you, that means you are succeeding. So it is a
Yes.
good sign. Yeah. So, yeah, and you also took it so well. So just wanted to tell you that is really a sign of great success, no doubt about it. And you mentioned about the corporate training and you mentioned public speaking. You know, the fear of public speaking, it is the highest and the greatest fear, means people
Yes.
prefer to die over speaking in public. So what is your experience and what is your opinion about it, and how do you guide them? Because if people are so scared, it means it must be a lot of work from your part. So I want to know your journey in that
Yes,
area.
absolutely. And you're right, Sue, to say that people are scared of public speaking more than dying often. The National Association for Statistics in America came out with that data. And yes, you're absolutely right. The fear of death is less prevalent than the fear of public speaking. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad advice out there about good public speaking skills. A lot of books will tell you, and a lot of trainers will tell you, for example, to imagine that the audience is naked, or to
Oh, I was thinking exactly the same thing. Yeah, because I heard that advice from so many people. Actually, even I had taken a course, paid course, and there also they taught me. Okay, okay, go
it's
on.
such bad advice. You know, that's going to make someone more nervous than less nervous. You know, yeah, and I've heard other little you know, misconceptions such as focus on one point at the back of the wall, at the back of the room, and and you won't be nervous. And it's stupid advice like that, which has, just infiltrated this space. And people hear these things and they don't feel confident to begin with. And it kind of exacerbates the issue. So what does make a good public speaker, and why is being a good public speaker so important? Well, first of all, you have to have outstanding subject knowledge about what you're speaking about. That really is going to be the number one thing that will make you an impactful public speaker. If you really, really deeply know the topic you're talking about, that's going to make you enjoy it more, and it's going to make you have passion when you're in front of people, and it's also going to make you worry less about getting things wrong and about people asking you questions. So subject knowledge, again, is incredibly important. But also it's really kind of letting go of any thought of consequences as well. And that does take training. When you're up in front of people, particularly if it's your colleagues or your co-workers or people who are more senior than you have to stand up there with boldness, imagining you're the best person in the room, the most qualified person in the room. You've done your homework, you understand the topic really well, and you just have to go in there thinking, I'm going to have a great time no matter what. If they hate me, if I lose my job, if I lose my career over this, if I lose whatever over this, I don't care. I can accept it. And you have to really just let go of all thought of consequences. And of course, on top of that, yes, there are specific techniques you can practice as well, which would take me a long time to describe. But they're very useful, and it's one of my most popular workshops is the Powerful Public Speaker program.
Oh, yeah. So when is it coming up? Surely I would like to attend because, hey, public speaking, yeah, it is the greatest fear. But on the other side, it is the highest paid profession. Means, yeah, for one keynote speech, means people are getting millions of dollars. Yeah, you may start your journey initially to pay to be on stages, but hey, the journey can flip, and then you can start making hundreds and thousands and then eventually millions. But it is a journey and it can happen, no doubt about it. So it is a really great field. And I remember I was blogging about my entrepreneurship and spirituality experiences, and people loved my blogs. And they say, "We love your blogs, but we don't have time to read. Why don't you start podcast, or why don't you start YouTube channel?" And that was the last thing on my mind to do, because English is my third language. I still have heavy accent. I was like, oh, I don't know whether people will understand me. Why should I even talk to people when I'm so good at writing? I'm enjoying it. Why should I? It is like a getting out of comfort zone. I just didn't want to do that. But then this, what you mentioned, that really changed my life. That just put your eyes on other people. If you are adding value to their lives, just go ahead and do it, because you are expert in that field. You have the subject matter. And that is how I got started and I never stopped. And now I have been publishing my podcasting. This is my third year of podcasting. So publishing almost every day one episode. And my YouTube channel, I have various YouTube channels now, even for business and for travel and all. So it is a testament of what you have been teaching. It is really great information for people to know and follow you. And I'm still willing to listen and learn, because I know there is a long way to go, and it's really amazing journey. It's really empowering. And I just want to tell my family, my audience, yeah, you know yeah, just get into Richard James Rogers, means he will be telling us at the end what all the sites, our channels where you can follow him and you can get more information. But hey, you have one life to live, and public speaking is, it's a great way that you can empower many people at one shot. And this is a really, you are creating win-win situation for yourself and even for them, because you are creating good karma, you are helping so many people out, other people are getting empowered, and it is, of course, you are feeling good because you are helping them, you are benefiting them. So yeah, so it's really great journey. And regarding public speaking again, there are feminine and masculine energies. So how do you balance, and what is your opinion about that? Because nowadays there is a lot of thing going on. You tell stories because stories connect to heart, and heart is a feminine energy. But if you want to survive into business, you have to have discipline, work ethic, and that is more like a masculine energy. So just tell us the essentials of both energies and how can you balance.
Well, I think you have to be true to yourself, Sue. I sometimes do get criticized because my voice sounds a bit effeminate sometimes. Sometimes people think when they hear my voice that I'm not masculine enough sometimes. And to be quite honest, Sue, I just don't care. I am true to who I am. I'm honest with people. I'm transparent and I'm genuine. And I think when you're on stage speaking publicly, or you're blogging, or you're doing your business, or you're trying to make your mark in the world, you do have to be genuine, and you do have to be you have to be sincere, and you have to be who you are when you're presenting yourself to the world, because you can only be fake for so long, because people can spot it and people can tell, and people these days especially, I think, are getting so fed up with fake stuff, especially with the advent of AI. I mean, I honestly believe that AI is fast approaching an end point, because people are just fed up with. I really do. That there's all this all this commotion about how AI is so great and AI is going to make my life easier and better. I'm noticing the opposite. I'm noticing people getting really fed up of all this stuff now. The fake images, the fake blog posts, the fake books, the fake videos. People are just getting really fed up of fakeness. So I would say when it comes to masculine and feminine energies, they're both important, but I think essentially you have to stay true to who you are. I'm not sure if you necessarily need to be mindful of when you're masculine or when you're more feminine, or when to release those energies. I'm not really an expert in that, I would say. But it is true that you have to be relentlessly aggressive in business. That is true. And if that is a more masculine trait, then I guess it does take some masculinity to succeed in business. Sometimes you do have to be quite forceful. There will be people who will try to stop you on your journey, and you have to deal with those people. And sometimes that requires you to be quite strong, quite brave, and sometimes a little bit nasty, I have to say. And now I don't mean nasty in an illegal sense, of course. I would never promote that. But you do often have to maybe talk to lawyers or go down legal routes sometimes when, you become really big. Donald Trump recently, for example, has had to deal with some lawsuits and things. And that does require intense bravery and courage and strength and fortitude. So, yes, I guess both are important. And on the same note as that, if we discuss the feminine, for example, you have to be a good listener. You have to be empathetic and sympathetic to people. but at the same time, you can't let yourself be taken advantage of. So I guess it is important to manifest both energies, but at the same time, you have to be genuine and true to yourself and sincere.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree with you because I'll just give you example of what you mentioned. My husband's voice sounds feminine when he's talking on the phone. Okay, so but that didn't stop him succeeding in his life. He's very, very successful tech entrepreneur. He took companies from startup phase to public, and it's
Mm.
very, very successful. And I'm really blessed to be married to him, and he's a really great human being. So you know and of course he has a big masculine energy, no doubt about it, because yeah, he's very aggressive when it comes to the point, no doubt about it. And so I just want to second whatever you mentioned, because I experienced that all in my life and in my personal journey. So I totally agree with you. And you also mentioned about how long can you fake. And many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, they have this imposter syndrome, and then they try to fake, they try to wear masks. And I'm not talking just about them. Even when I was actually in my early 20s, I was also a basket case, and certain period of my life, maybe just like a month or two, I was really confused, and I was faking myself. But I think I can just say that was many years back now, and I think that was the worst period of my life, because I was not living true to myself, and I was trying to fake someone else. And you want to, yeah, basically follow somebody, and you want those people to mentor you. So but you cannot be them. You will be the best of your better version, so and that is how you will be happy, and you will serve other people better. And now when I look at that period of my life, I'm just thankful that now I don't need to be like that. And I learned a lot. Means it was a really, really hard period of my life. It was just like 1 or 2 months, but still it sounds like eternity, because but I learned so much, but I suffered also so much during that period. So there is no point faking anything. Yeah, just be true to yourself. And hey, people who want to be with you, they will be with you, and people who don't want to be, yeah, means still it is okay, perfectly okay, because it is beneficial for them, because you cannot serve everybody, you cannot do that, and it is not possible. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So what can you tell us about the teaching principles, because you have been a teacher now. You are still teaching, but in a different form. So I want to know your basic principles about teaching.
Absolutely, Sue. Well, it begins really with wanting to help your students as best as you can. Unfortunately, even today, there are many, many teachers who have entered the profession just because they want a job, or just because, in some unfortunate cases, because they want the prestige that goes with being a teacher in some countries and in some contexts. But you have to start with wanting to have that passion and desire and drive to want to help your students. So to be someone who's caring, first of all. Secondly, you have to know how to use praise properly, how to reward and praise your students. And I use a phrase very often, which is praise must be collective in order to be effective. And what I mean by that is when you say to a student, for example, well done for completing this work on time and to a high standard. I love the way that you drew this diagram. It was very big and clear. You know, you've given specific praise like that. Don't just stop there. Tell the students homeroom teacher or form tutor, tell the head of year, tell parents if relevant and necessary, and get the people, the key people around that student talking and sharing that praise that you've also shared with that student, and telling that student, well done, I heard you did some great work in Mr. Rogers's class this week. So praise can be very, very powerful. On top of that, lessons need to be clear and they need to be focused. There needs to be a very clear objective, and you have to keep up to schedule as well. A massive mistake that teachers make, especially in their early years of teaching, is they just plan day to day or lesson by lesson. But you've really got to take a long-term view. You've got to know what's happening a month from now, 6 months from now. What does the curriculum map for the academic year look like? So that's very crucial. And on top of that, you have to really understand some useful pedagogy, which is the science of learning and the science of teaching. You have to understand how the brain works and how the human mind remembers things. You have to understand how to make learning and teaching emotional, because students are emotional creatures. And this is another reason why I think AI will never really fully replace human teachers, although I do believe that there'll be companies and governments and systems that will try that. And I don't think it will be entirely successful, but I do think it will be somewhat successful. But learning is an emotional process, so students need to feel as though that they're buying into the learning process, and that can only happen when they feel good about themselves and students feel as though what they're doing is worthwhile. So there's many aspects to what makes a good teacher, but essentially it starts with having a genuine, sincere interest in your students, a professional interest, and caring for your students. And after that, it's using praise effectively, designing lessons properly, taking a long-term view, and understanding the science of learning and the science of teaching.
You know, you told so many great points. I remember my high school teacher. I still remember I had many teachers, of course, but the one teacher I remember because he took genuine interest in my future. I remember growing up means I was really I used to get a great rank. I was topper most of the time, and without studying, it was just like osmosis. I was, and uh, my mom wanted me to become a doctor and go to village and serve people and all. And so whoever asked me, okay, what do you want to become? I would always say that, okay, I want to become a doctor. I want to go to village and serve people. So I told my teacher, I want to become a doctor. I want to go to village and serve people. Then he took me once aside. He said, my dad was a freedom fighter, and my dad told me, you become a teacher. That is the best way to serve people. So he said I had ability to become whatever I wanted to be, because I was also really good at my studies and all. But he said, just because my dad told me become a teacher, so I became a teacher. But no, he said, you won't believe, if I want to send my daughter for dance classes, I
Mm,
don't have money. I have to do extra tuition to fund her means hobbies. And he said, there is nothing wrong in making money. He said, you make more money, that way you can give more money and you can help more people. So it is not always noble to provide your services
mm,
for free. He said you can help in many other ways. And I I learned a lot, and then actually I stopped saying that and I said, okay, I'll follow my heart and I will do whatever I want to do. And that is how my life shaped. But I remember even when I started blogging, because I wanted to give free resources to solopreneurs, because I thought that is how I would help. But when I was giving free resources, people were just say, oh, these are free,
Mm.
I'll shelve it and I will look at it later. But the moment I started charging, sorry, people started taking action, and then they started seeing the results and the transformation. So the one teacher who told me great point, and that impacted my life in such a better way. So teachers can help you a lot. And I also liked your point about collective praise. That is so good, because you are amplifying that
Right.
praise, and that is, you are creating such a positive vibe, and that is so important. It is so much needed. So it's always, I heard in corporate world that, okay, you, if you want to praise somebody, praise in public, and if you want to criticize, criticize
I
in
like that.
private. But this collective praise I heard for the first time, and that is so so much needed. And especially in childhood, when kids are going to school, and if there's so much of positivity is coming from their teacher, that will really shape their life for better, no doubt about it. It's a really great strategy. I'm learning so much from you. So I want to know more about your website, because your website looks so interesting, and there are so many actually free resources I see here actually. Mm, mm, for many years you have here. We can just go to each particular month and you can find all those lessons. And also, will you please tell us more about your
Yes,
website?
absolutely, Sue. So my website is myname.com. So it's richardjamesrogers.com. And that's Rogers with a G, not a DG. So Richard James, yeah, that's a common problem I have with my surname. So richardjamesrogers.com, and that started in 2015. So it's been going for 10 years now. It started as a blog where I would write down lessons for teachers, basically. And that blog has been going the whole time. But it's evolved since then. So I've got a corporate training section now. I've got a teacher training section. I've got a section about the public speaking program that I do. I've got a section of interviews. So when this interview is finished, that will go on there as well. My podcast links are on there. So it really is a central hub for teachers everywhere, all around the world, to get golden nuggets of advice that they can apply immediately in the classroom. I pride myself on the fact that all of my blog posts are highly usable and highly practical. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate. So listeners, please make sure that you go to that website as Richard mentioned. And if someone wants to find you, which other channels you are available? If they want to find you, if they want to follow you, because of course your website is there, but any other channels, social media, or any other channels where you are prominently
Yes,
present?
so I'm Google famous as well. So if you simply
All
yes, I'm
right.
quite proud of that. That's another
It is hard to be
yes.
Google famous. Okay, tell me, people are spending thousands of dollars to become Google famous, and hey, you crack that code, so we want
Yes,
to know more.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I would advise people to spend thousands of hours rather than thousands of dollars to to become Google famous, because that's what will matter in the end. So if anyone just Googles my full name, which is Richard James Rogers, that should come up immediately with a knowledge box about me, and it should say that I'm an author. Um, Also, I'm on Instagram. So my Instagram is Richard_James_Rogers. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. So my LinkedIn is just Richard James Rogers. And my Facebook page is Richard Rogers Author. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and Google.
So I asked all the questions what I wanted to ask, and but if I missed out on something, for example, I think I didn't ask about the certified Scrum Master. Personally, I don't know what it is, but I would like to know more about that. What is
Yeah, I
Scrum
get that
Master?
question a lot, actually, Sue. Scrum is a project management methodology. It's become wildly popular, especially in the past 10 years, because it's a highly flexible way of managing teams and managing big projects in the workplace. It's a proper system. It's very popular in the financial sector, for example. Banks and financial institutions have been built just from this methodology, and it can be applied really to any sector of business. And a certified Scrum Master is someone who knows Scrum really well, basically. So it's a qualification offered by the Scrum Alliance, and I just happened to do the course and get the certificate. And now that I have that certificate and I'm a certified Scrum Master, that's given me credibility now, so I can run workshops in agile project management. So it's an interesting one. If I was to tell you 15 years ago where I would be now in 2025, I would not have for one moment thought I would be a certified Scrum Master. I wouldn't even know what that was 15 years ago. So it's amazing how things unfold sometimes. Absolutely. Well, that's it really, Sue, I think. Just if anybody wants to contact me, my email address is info@richardjamesrogers.com. So once again, that's info@richardjamesrogers.com. And my website, of course, is richardjamesrogers.com. So that's it really. If anybody wants workshops about agile project management, executive coaching, train the trainer, and public speaking, I can definitely offer those. I do those online or on site if you're in Thailand or any country really, but I might have to fly to you because I'm based in Thailand. But I do online courses as well. I do one-to-one tuition. And I can also be contacted about guest blog posts. That's becoming very popular now. So people are paying me to put content on my website now and to write blog posts for them. So that's something else I can do as well. Thank you, Sue. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you today. Take care, Sue. Bye bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We are blessed to have you as part of our community, and whatever way we can help you, serve you, let us know. Please subscribe and let us know how we can help you, what resources you want. We have lots of free resources and also free collaboration joint venture groups you can join and explode your business, because most solopreneurs quit their business before they launch their first products, and I don't want that to happen to you. And that's why we have special launch service where you can monetize your digitals and become profitable as fast as within 7 days. And if you want to scale your business, join our membership New Beginning Success Collaboration, where we'll provide you MRR and PLR products and collaborations so that you can scale your business with ease and effortlessly. And hey, if you want to sell your digitals all over the world, yes, we will provide you affiliates more than 200 countries. So everything is possible. Just live your dream, follow your dream, and whichever way we can help you, do let us know. Thank you and God bless you.